Joined now by Bob Reist, the head coach of the Valley Huskers, and there have been plenty of crazy games to choose from already through 3 weeks of the BCFC, but I think it's fair to say everybody is talking about the Valley Huskers and what this team is doing right now. Bob, I mean, I know you're not surprised. I know you believe that this is what your team can and will accomplish this year, but to beat the Okanagan Sun like that, like you guys did, hold the lead the whole game, there has to be some level of surprise there, doesn't there?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if it's a surprise. I've said it all along. We believe we're a very good football team. Is it surprising that we were able to hold off Okanagan and keep them, from taking a lead in that game? Sure, that is a surprise. Are we surprised outside of our locker room that we were able to win that game? No. We preached that the whole season is we think that if we can execute and do the right things that on any given day we can play with anybody in this league, and that's kind of has been our approach and continues to be our approach. But to do it in the fashion that we did, certainly was impressive for us as a football club. That's an outstanding team, especially on the defensive side of the ball in Okanagan. And to play the game that we did was encouraging for our season moving forward.
You guys have come out now, and in 3 weeks, you've beaten the Raiders and the Sun. And I mean, that looks good on anyone's resume, the West Shore Rebels resume, anybody. How important is it, though, now, and how sort of challenging is it to come back on you to make sure that your players realize that you haven't really accomplished anything towards that main goal? You know what I mean, Bob? I know you guys aren't done and you're not satisfied. How important is that now to make sure your players realize this is part of the process here?
It's essential, and that's something that we preach all the time. We talked about it leading up to this week in Okanagan is you have to be who you are through highs and through lows, and we're in week 3 of a 10-game season. This isn't the end goal to be in the tie for first place after week 3. But you're entitled to be on a high, but you have to ride that out and prepare and make sure that you're even keel and prepared for the rest of the season, because things only get harder moving forward. It never gets easier. Winning never gets easier. And we've put 2 wins behind us, and we have a lot of football left to play, and looks like it's going to be a very tight league moving forward. So we need to continue to prepare ourselves and treat every game moving forward as the most important game.
If you had to pick maybe one thing, I know that might be, hard to nail it down, but is there one piece to this team that you added, one thing that's different? I think Julian Wittink is the one that comes off the page to me, as that young man appears to be the real deal at quarterback for your team. Is he the guy? Is that the one thing, maybe having that legit quarterback that's really changed things big time for your program?
Certainly Julian is a huge part of our success so far. But there's a number of names that you could go to as well. Anthony Dick has been virtually unstoppable this season so far. And Dawson Davies on defense has been an outstanding addition for us. I would say more in sense of narrowing it down to an individual. It's been our approach as a team, and how we continue to challenge ourselves every week and how we continue to prepare. I think the attitude on this team and the resiliency on this team is far different than it was last year. And it's made a big difference for us.
I know that this, isn't necessarily your concern, and it's not something that, you're probably too worried about. You're focused on your own program. But is there a sense, Bob, when you pull back and look at it from maybe a 50-foot view of how important and how huge this is for the BCFC to have this kind of competitive program in the Valley as well?
Certainly from a league's perspective, it has to be, to always be competitive, or to always have teams that aren't competitive. It's a problem, and it sort of takes away from, I get not the legitimacy, but the parity of the league. And I think, us being a program on the rise certainly, adds to the excitement of the league. And, that's something that, if that's what it comes down to, we're certainly happy to do. But definitely we focus on ourselves and on our program and try to be the best that we can be.
A little bit of uncertainty in this week, and as much as we don't know if Kamloops is going to be able to host a game with the air quality issues, they just had to cancel last weekend. There's talk of maybe flip-flopping home dates, but again, there's a lot of logistics with that. How are you approaching that with your players as far as some of the pieces off the field out of your control?
We sit down as a group and we'll talk about that tonight at film and understanding that, we need to focus on controlling what we can control. We don't have any control over air quality or making the calls on where we're going to be or who, or what time we're going to be playing at or if we're playing, so we need to continue to focus on things that are within our control, studying our opponent, preparing for a game coming up on Saturday and, and the crucial 2 points that we need to go after. So, we've talked about the possibility, but as far as, it being a concern, it's really out of our control.
Bob, I really appreciate your time as always. Again, congratulations on this great start, and I look forward to seeing how you guys perform this weekend and heading into the bye week. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Always a pleasure.